This aid will strengthen Ukraine. We did lose the initiative there. Now we have all the chance to stabilize the situation and to overtake the initiative.
All right, for more on this, let's bring in Bloomberg's Michael Heath. Michael, that was like pulling teeth. It took a long time to get there. Can you tell us how important this is for Ukraine? And as November gets closer, is there a chance this could be it?
Yeah, Paul, good points. I mean, Winston Churchill once said that the US always does the right thing after it's explored every other option, and this is really a case of that. Look, it's hugely important for Ukraine. Russia was taking advantage of its lack of ammunition, of its struggles to get enough men into the line. So it'll have a morale boost, and it will also probably stabilise the situation, as President Zelensky said, which is hugely important. They've been on the back foot, and Russia's been taking advantage of this. Russia watches very closely what goes on in terms of the US-Ukraine relationship and Ukraine's relationship with the West. But you're right, and, you know, in November, if you get a Trump administration, and Trump is so positive towards Putin, and you know, it's been reported fairly clearly, just he has almost sort of this idolisation of the Russian leader. There's every chance that the plug could be pulled, and then it's really going to be up to Europe to step up. Can Europe do it? It's fairly doubtful. So, I mean, Ukraine has an enormous amount riding on this election, and Russia has really got the wind behind it at the moment. The other thing with Russia you always see is the longer a war goes on, the better it gets, and you can see it's starting to improve now as well. So Ukraine desperately needed this.
And Michael, part of this funding is also going toward Israel. We understand, we're hearing from Netanyahu that could partly be spent on operations in Gaza. Doesn't really seem like that is the direction that the White House would want, even though they did call for further assistance.
Yeah, I mean, Annabelle, look, the Israel side of it, I think it was essential that this package linked those two together, just to get everybody on board to pass it. It was just so important to pass it. And the US is never going to leave Israel without the ammunition and the wherewithal that it needs. But yeah, look, Rafah will come back onto the agenda. Obviously, everyone was very, very closely focused on Iran, and Gaza sort of took a back seat to that. Israel's strike, Iran has played it down, and everyone has praised it in the West, even though they didn't want Israel to retaliate. Its strike was very much just a case of, look, where we can get to you, but let's leave it at that. And Iran playing it down sort of means that this is quieting things down. But I think the US aid is important too, because even putting aside Rafah and the worries there, the baseline has risen for fighting between, state-to-state fighting between Israel and Iran. And obviously you've got Hezbollah on Israel's northern border as well. So, you know, Israel's security position has deteriorated slightly in terms of Iran now showing its hand with this. But I guess, you know, it really depends if Israel does go ahead with Rafah, then Iran falls back into the background. If it waits a bit longer, then people will keep focused on that. But the US was always going to support Israel here and always ensure it had the wherewithal. So though if it goes on and attacks Rafah straight away, it perhaps mightn't look so good. But I think in the case of Iran, everyone knew that they had to have this.